Hey. Hey.
You know what just came to my mind?
What's that?
It's foot golf season.
Oh. Yes. Yes.
I thought maybe you were thinking about saying what come to mind was whack-a-mole. Because he was having technical difficulty with the chair.
The chair.
He kept going up and down.
That's why when the camera come on, I was like, hey.
So when you made your opening statement, I thought you were about to say something related to what he was doing this chair over here.
I didn't see that. No, I was just thinking about, I was like, man, it's great weather today. I'm like, man, it's foot golf time. It is time.
It was really nice. We were talking about that outside the church.
Yes.
Excellent weather for it, man. Not too hot, not too cold.
Yeah.
Except when it's windy, though, that ball is going to travel. So make sure today there's no wind.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We can't work on that. We just got to get out there.
Because whatever it is,
our game.
Whatever it is, it's for whoever's out there kicking the ball. So
right,
we're all doing it in the same element, unless we know when the wind is blowing.
Right.
It's driving me crazy. There's not 3 other men who want to take us on, or 3 other guys.
Yeah, I know.
They want to take us on. I just know.
Only my son
and
so,
Eric.
And Eric. Right. Yeah, he came down.
But we know we got them. We can beat them when we want to. They.
Well, Simon might have something to say about that. So
right. And how's your friend Sergio doing?
Yeah,
I haven't seen him. He's in Florida.
Okay.
I talked to him every once in a while. But actually, he went back to Argentina for a minute, for like a couple of weeks to visit his family. He visits his wife and his 2 kids, and they were so grown. I saw them when they were 13, 14 is when I met them. Like 18, 19 now, and they're so I'm like, oh my God, dude. So I'm like, you got to get a shotgun. Your daughter's looking cute. You need to get a shotgun real quick. So there's the thing. So that was the thing. So yeah, so he's doing well. He's doing well. But I'll make me text him this week. Make me want to text him and see how he's doing. So that's good.
Oh man. Other than that, man, it's been a great weekend.
A quiet weekend.
Yeah, winding down birthday month. Still having fun. I went to go see The Wiz. Man, that's an excellent production. And it's funny because my daughter, we were talking about which one we like better, Wiz or Lion King. Me personally, I love Lion King. My daughter liked The Wiz because she said The Wiz was more soulful. I'm like, okay.
More soulful than Lion King?
That's what she says, more soulful. Thank you. You agree with me.
You can have more soul than the Red Clay of Africa. You can have more soul.
Feedback will be coming.
It's my birthday twin, but I don't know how you could have more soul than the Red Clay of Africa. I don't know, but hey. Okay,
man, it was a great weekend. Excellent word yesterday from Pastor Darnell Edie as usual, and we're just, man, I'm telling you, church on fire, man. We're excited about it.
He's been preaching a lot lately. What's the deal? Bishops are taking a rest?
No, he just been preaching.
Yeah, man, he's there. So
okay,
Bishop is there.
That's when you have an assistant. That's what you use your assistant for.
Yeah,
that's nice. That is nice that Bishop gets to rest because he's not a young spring chicken. He can't be preaching every week like that. So that's good.
And with convocation right around the corner, he's doing all his due diligence for that. So it's good. He has someone to help.
Yeah,
take care of things.
No, that's good. No, it's excellent. That's excellent. Well, let me say this before we go on to Simon. Let me just give my birthday shout out. It was my beautiful daughter. Tuesday, she turned 14 years old.
Which one?
The youngest. She turned 14 years old, and wishing her a happy birthday. I don't know. She's definitely not watching. Doesn't watch her daddy. So I'm saying to her or to her mother, because her mother's watching, let her know I gave her a big shout out.
Happy birthday.
All right. But weekend was great. We had a wonderful diocesan women's conference this weekend on Friday night and Saturday. Really good ladies. You showed, if any of the ladies from the diocese are watching, you really did a great job. Bishop Brown wasn't there. He was away. But ladies, you did great. I'm definitely sure he's going to be proud of when he watches. You guys did great. So, yeah. That was my weekend.
All right. No basketball?
No, they canceled basketball on Saturday, so I was actually had energy on Sunday. It's pretty good.
Whoa.
I'll leave that one alone. Anyway.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
I had no, it was a quiet weekend. Last month, family time. It's been great. I love the idea of and I'm not just talking about a few of us, but it's like family time. One may miss it on it, but the whole family being in one place at the same time, and we've been on trips or we're going out together. It's been happening more frequent. So I thank God for that. So I appreciate that a lot. And are you saying about you, or you want to just going to say?
No, and that's great because that alludes right into the show topic for tonight is talking about relationship and family challenges. So
exactly. So while all this family and Rupert's family, your family, my family, and the families that are watching, tell them people to press the button. Them subscribe, share the button, like the button. Just keep. No, he said it, not me, Rupert. Just press the button. We cannot do this show without you. Mm-hmm. We love doing it. The three brothers, we love doing the shows. Mm-hmm. We love your feedback. Mm-hmm. Keep coming with your feedback. Trying to have more feedback than what Ken be giving us.
Right.
But we still love all feedback from everyone. We love you. Continue to press the subscribe, the share, and the like button.
And it's funny you said it because I know I'm gonna get in trouble. So Friday nights we used to go out to do something. So Friday we started staying. We watched One Love, Bob Marley. My wife really loved the movie. I was shocked. She really liked the movie. She was like,
she didn't chastise them until they need Jesus. She didn't pray over it.
I would have bought my Rasta hat.
Rastafari.
Yeah, I would have bought my locks and all that. What?
Yeah, she liked
actually, my family went to the movie. I didn't go, but they went to the movie theater to watch that movie together when it came out. So it was pretty good. I heard it. That's exciting. So I'm glad Anita liked it. It's very good. Bob Marley's an interesting character. He is an interesting character. So
I mean, for what he did to try to bring unity to the country at that time when such what was not really like was it like a civil war?
Yeah, he was being shot at. Family in trouble. Yeah,
it was a tough time.
Yes, it was.
Break away from England and all that kind of stuff, and it's really you think it's rough in America when it comes to political parties. Jamaican political parties, it's when you talk about people dying, people are actually getting killed. So it was kind of that kind of thing. So it's just that deal. But it's weird that he's way more popular after his death than during his time alive, which is really the interesting part, right? Because
like Michael Jackson, though. He's more popular too, and he got movies coming out.
But Michael Jackson was popular.
He has a movie out,
right? But Michael was popular during his time, right? When he was coming up, he was still popular, selling millions of albums. Bob Marley didn't have that. He didn't sell millions of albums when he was alive. He sold everything pretty much once he passed away because of the fact that his impact when he died, he just became more impactful. And reggae became more popular.
Well, now that's interesting. But back to what we're saying about family, because that was a
family.
No, I'm saying because Fridays is a time with me and my wife. We always spend that time together, just us. And because we have that family moment, just to be together. I mean, not to say we don't do anything with our kids, but it's always good to have that time with her. And so we try to keep the communication open. We talk about what happened throughout the week, look at what our goals are going to be, some things we need to try to work on. Just have that open line of communication, which I find is so important.
Yeah, I'm horrible with it. My wife is watching, so I'll be saying, yeah, because I'm horrible at it. But my time is crazy. But I do have to, I believe, because I think that's part of what kind of crushes relationships is not that family time. I remember growing up, with mom and dad, and they always had the time of devotion. They brought all the family together. Me and Debbie, with the kids at home, they brought us together no matter what. If we weren't at a church service Friday night, we came together. We had a Bible open. We read a scripture. We sung a song. And there was definitely an hour and a half of time where we were together in that, and also dinner. Until I was probably 16, we had dinner together all the time. There was a dinner time. It's just different now.
And that was excuse me, that was like us in England, because I remember when my dad used to work, he used to work a 20-minute walk away from where we used to live.
Wow.
And then we used to walk as a family, mom, brothers and sisters, to go meet him. And the beginning time, he didn't have the car. And then we would all walk back. Then when he got a car, we would walk down and walk back. But walking back, the sites that we would see, that's where the word train spotting came, because we would come back. By then, with us being kids, when you see a train go by, he's like, you're all excited, you'll be counting everything and doing that. And then we would walk into a park. But that family time together, stuff like that, yeah, I'm not forgetting that, because it was a time for all of us to be that. And like you said, eating, dinner time, we had dinner times together. And of course, back in church days then, if you weren't eating at the church, you went to someone's house who was near the church.
Break bread.
And break, yeah, there you go, break bread. You break together. And that's how tight the families got, even at church.
So what would you say some of the challenges I think the families are facing today? I know a lot of times the man is working a lot of hours to do what needs to be done. The wife is out, she's working too. So now you have latchkey kids because each spouse is out. Society today is like both persons have to work to keep a house afloat. And I think it brings somewhat of a disconnect that you have sometimes with your kids, because now, as you know, you can close your eyes, your kid's grown. It's like they're 6 today and 16 tomorrow. So because I think society today has made it harder on the family than previously.
Yeah, I think society has. I think it's just really just the dynamic or the mindset of us parents, right? We really set the tone, right? We are the ones that set the tone, and I think that, I know for me, I think I didn't set the tone right, because I knew that that family time would be important to grow as a family, to function as a family. So when they are teenagers and when they are young adults, they understand the dynamic themselves, right? And I don't think even my kids understand the dynamic. So I think it's just kind of, I think we have created our own monster when it comes to the family dynamic. But outside of just us personal, let's look at society as a whole, as we're doing here. Society as a whole has created a need for latchkey kids, like you said, multiple working. So sometimes dad's coming in, mom's going out to work, or vice versa. You have parents who are so tired that they just make dinner and they say, look, eat when you can, or put something in front. The kids may eat together. Dad doesn't eat till later because he doesn't come home till later. So there's all these different things that are happening that are causing families not to have that dynamic. Whereas back in the day, maybe mom didn't work, or maybe mom didn't have to work so many hours, or even the mindset that if mom worked, we didn't eat till dad came home. I don't care if it was 7 o'clock. Dad came home at 7. That's when we eat, right? There's those dynamics that they put in place. That
dynamic not happening now, bro.
That never happened.
No, but I mean not even now. But even if I use the dynamics, and I'm going to use this, and I hope Eric and Simone don't mind, is that because the unit of their family, because their kids are always they're on the go now. One's playing t-ball. They're doing track, play volleyball. So their family dynamics, and Eric work on the job and at home, but how they do it, it's look, I applaud them. I'm proud of family, of course, how it's done. And if they're going to get help from the outside family, they can either call if the kids have to come, or they know that Papu is going to be there in a heartbeat if I'm available to come. But that family dynamics right there and they're all together, so they generally do everything together. Going right, even when they watch each other, the girls are watching their brother, the brother's watching the girls. So I like how that's being kept, and the love in between that is really, really good. Even how the kids are hugging each other, 'cause the parents do, so the kids do at the same time. And when they see the outside family, that's all we do too, is hug, give high fives and that. So of course the extension of the family outside of that is very important also. But the Sundays, and of course we like to roll at people's house, but like you said, everyone's so busy.
Yeah.
There's always something happening.
Mm-hmm.
And now it just seems like more stuff is happening on a Sunday, when generally it's church and family time. That's getting busy, even for myself. That's getting busy, and you don't really want to keep Sundays out of it because I want to be a church or family. But sometimes you just have to equate to what's going on around. It's difficult.
So I can ask you both this question: how many times do you have to look at your personal calendar before you say yes to something? Isn't that crazy?
I forget. So my wife jumps on me for that one because I forget. I'm like, oh yeah, and then I get home and she's like, I'm like, oh no, I can't do it. So I forget.
No, I'm in the habit now of looking at the calendar before I say yes.
Isn't that crazy?
It's too much.
There was a time in our lives you didn't have to worry about that calendar. Now it's like, let me look, make sure I'm not. And then sometimes you overbook yourself or you overcommit, and it's like, and he's like, did you put it on the calendar?
And that's not counting things like funerals. That's going to be added, and that can throw you off too.
Unexpected stuff.
Unexpected stuff can throw you off if you're in an accident or something like that. So, yes, it's hard these days.
So let me ask you guys a question, right? Because we
know
dynamics. What is the now norm for a family? What is it? What would you consider the norm for a family? And folks watching, please, also give your thoughts. But what would you consider the norm now for a family?
The norm is, to me, from observation, a lot of families are just stretched because you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that. As Simon spoke earlier, you got kids' sporting events, you got things going on at the school, so you're trying to juggle. Time management in the family is so crucial, because if not, something's going to be, it's going to fall by the wayside. And that's one thing we had in our house, time management, making sure we got Malachi to soccer practice on the right time. Holly had to be here or something like that. So being able to juggle your home, it's crucial, because then you got Saturday, you're trying to do everything, and you know what you're going to be doing on Sunday, and you start the wheel spinning right back again on Monday. So the norm, I think the norm, it depends on the family itself, on how well they're able to do family management.
Time management, just like what Mark says, because even when I'm coaching at the Copper Mine basketball, it's just not fathers bringing their children. A lot of times it's both, but there's a few more times now. I got two fathers who bring their children. One's in a pouch, and another one's he's holding their hand, and the other one's playing basketball.
Wow.
So, like I said, it looks like that's his norm, because that's every week.
Oh, wow.
Every week that I see the same. And then another mother, she's got her child, and he's playing basketball. So you generally see the same parents, but there's a few of them who I'll meet their grandfather one week, I'll meet the father next week, I'll meet the mother, because, of course, their schedule is probably different too. Whoever can get my child to where I'm going to, I need help. And I think that's a lot too there, right, is your outside help.
Yeah. Do you think grandparents are more involved now in the?
Oh my Lord, you asking the wrong person.
Yeah, I can't speak to that, so I'm gonna look over at you.
You asking the wrong. More involved. It's for me personally, because Rachel gets involved also, because the kids want to go. They come. We want to go to me, mom, papa's. We want to go, and it's like they're really not doing anything. They might be on their phone, they might watch something. The grandkids want to join, but they love, I guess when we were growing, they love the time with their grandparents. And of course, it depends on the response of the grandparents, how much you giving back.
Exactly.
And the more you give back, the more they want to come and help. And of course, my heart is just melted that when I'm at church and I'm on security duty and the grandkids might want to come up. They just can't control themselves, man. They got to run up to Papu and do, hi, and you hugging them in the middle. Oh, okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, now go sit next to me, mom. So I think grandparents play, I think their role's a little bit different than when grandparents were back then, though.
I was about to speak to
Yeah, there you go. But I'll let you all speak about that. But I think that's a little bit different then. So that's my thought on this one.
Yeah, because when my parents were alive, Holly and Malachi, they'll go to their grandparents' house. And the thing about it, when they got over there, they could do whatever they want.
Here we go.
But when they got home, I had to deprogram and say, no, you can do that over there, but you're not going to do that over here. And when we would try to discipline mom, oh, but they're so cute. No, mom, you discipline me. Why can't I discipline them? But they're so cute. No. That don't work. So I think back then, at least with my parents, they let them have a free reign. Then when we got back home, I had to deprogram them. Go, no, you're not gonna do this here.
But like, okay, so like Simon, how he's involved. Like, did your parents take your children to sporting events? Did they?
My dad was always he didn't take them, but he was always at our son's soccer events. He was always there.
See, my psychological part is that my parents didn't come to none of my events, and plus my grandparents. I'm sorry, folks, but I didn't even know my grandparents. So
my grandparents died when my last.
No, I knew the grandmother, and she lived 15 minutes down the street, and I didn't meet her until I was 21. So
wow,
exactly. So the dynamics of my family was way different then. But I always thought to myself is that I know how I felt when I'm at a sporting event and you look around and everyone's parents is there and not yours. So I was thinking about my children. Would I ever no, I couldn't do that. And my grandkids now. So that's how, yeah, I'm sorry.
Did that shape how you treat now? Like how you didn't have your grandparents? Really, did that shape how you now treat your grandkids? Is that why you do what you do?
Yes, because I know how I felt. And to be a child in your teens and you have your friends, but their parents are there and your parents are not there. And I don't think they did it on purpose. It's just that it just seemed like they weren't interested in sports then. And whatever I did, I reported back to how it went or whatever. Of course, they knew I lost. When I lost, because I just go straight up to my room. I didn't want to talk to nobody when I lost. But yeah, it did. It played a great role in how I treated my kids and my grandkids.
So, Mark, what about you? Do you think you're going to be a certain way with your grandkids once they come around?
Well, I can't speak to that right now. I have to wait until they come around.
What do you think?
I'll put it this way. Since my parents were real supportive, both sets of grandparents were real supportive of the kids, I'm pretty sure I'll be the same way.
No. He gonna be the same way. He's gonna have whatever grandson or granddaughter he gonna have. Everything will be from Amazon. They will be without nothing, and they probably have the first stroller that they could probably drive themselves. No.
So for me, I'm kind of sad because I didn't have grandparents in my life really. And now my youngest daughter, she's biologically the first biologically mine. So they have their grandparents on their father's side. But my biological daughter, her grandparents on the mother's side died while she was a baby. And so she doesn't know them. And then her grandparents on my side weren't even alive when when I got married. So they weren't around. So even like she'll come to church and she'll say, is that Grandpa? And and what was he like sometimes? And I feel bad because I'm like, because grandparents, I feel, are significant features in kids' lives. That's just how I feel. I feel they play a great role because they kind of bring history and they kind of tell you how come your parents are the way that they are, especially if they were involved in their parents' life. So I feel sad sometimes because I know my daughter doesn't have that, but then now aunts and uncles kick in, right? Or aunt jumps in and is crazy about her, right? So how about that? What do you think about aunts and uncles in the dynamics? Are they the same in family dynamics?
I would say yes, because again, I look at it as being like a community. Both, Anita's sisters, my sisters, they basically took over with them. So it was great, especially with the Melissa. She was the go-to, the tutor for Holly and Malachi, because with that new math, I said, no, you go see them. I can't help you with that new math. That new math was throwing me off. So she was great because she was more or less on their level. So she was able to help them more educationally when doing stuff, which I appreciated to the bottom of my heart. But each one of them had their own way of nurturing them growing up. And I believe I applaud my sisters and my sister-in-laws.
Yeah. Now, so for you, it's a little different, right? Because your family's mostly in England.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No. Come on, no. They got plenty of aunts and uncles over here now.
On your wife's side, I forgot. On your wife's side, there's a ton.
Exactly, that's a ton, and I mean they're great with them and supportive. That's, to me, that's like a gimme. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, socialize when they go. We don't even have to say who's uncle this and who's aunt this. The grandkids know already because they see pictures. They do that. Mm-hmm. But as far as England, come on, I don't even know my family in England. So aunts and uncles, I know a few because, of course, England, I didn't know too many from my dad's side because a lot of them were still in Jamaica and a few of them moved into New York. But cousins, oh my gosh, yeah. No, I got lots of cousins in England.
Same here.
Yeah. So, and that's black, white, and white side. So, so when I went over to my mom's funeral, they had a get together. So you get to know who's your aunt, who's your uncle. Oh, this is my niece, this is my nephew, or whatever. But yes, aunts and uncles, they pivotal. PIV. I say beautiful. PIV. They pivotal. I can't even say it.
So here's my last question before I know we have to go into our spiel there. But so Simon, now you got to learn your family you're getting to know them. What are you going to do about your grandkids now and your kids? Did they get to meet them? Are you like, I got to make them meet the other parts of my family? Because of the dynamic that I missed out. I have 3 cousins in England. They could be in England. I don't know, but my mom had a brother. He moved to England when she was a little kid. I never met him. He had 3 kids. I never met them. They're my cousins. I don't know if they could sit right beside me on a train and I wouldn't know that was my cousin.
Exactly.
So it's kind of weird. So for me, it's like if I did ever get to meet them, I would have Sophie over there immediately. Like we're going to go meet your cousins because I feel like
I'm laughing when you said that because the company I worked for, I worked with my cousin, didn't know it. We happened to be going on a sales call together, going up towards Frederick. And we just talking about the countryside and say, I have some people to live over there. He goes, you do? And he goes, I have some family over too. And he goes, okay. And I said, well, what's your mother's name? I said, wait a minute. Your mother's name is who? I said, that's my cousin. He says, Mom, guess who I got in the car with me? Because I hadn't seen the guy since he was little. So growing up, I had no idea I was working with my own cousin. And we were laughing about it the whole way up the road. But to your point, you just don't know who your family members are until you get together because you can want to marry your cousin, don't know it.
But the only one, again, in England right now that my mom's passed and my dad's passed, don't get to see my older sister or the other brother that well. But the younger one, Debbie, Look, my grandkids know Debbie. My family, they know Debbie.
I know Debbie.
Well, she's been on the
On the
show. So the dynamics of that. So if they want to travel to England, that's an open door right there. That's a give me right there.
Yeah.
So and
Do
of course a lot of it
cousins?
is her accent is still strong.
Do they know
So
your cousins? Do they know your cousins though?
no,
That's what I'm saying. Do you have a feeling that are you saying to yourself, and you may not be, are you saying to yourself, I want them to meet my cousin, the cousins?
oh yes, that would be great. I mean, that would be fun. Because when I met most of them, even though it was my mother's funeral, it was the first time I met them too, because I didn't even know when they were born. Never mind that. So it's been a whole lot of years. Now I got 13. I have a young niece she's at Cambridge. I think it's Cambridge College. You know, there's two big top colleges universities in England, Cambridge and Oxford.
Yeah.
And she's at Cambridge.
Wow.
So, and I saw her, and I have her phone number. So that's got to be WhatsApp. So, but while they're doing that,
I'm about to say, there you go.
yeah, things are moving so fast. I just don't want you to forget to keep pushing the buttons, subscribe, like, and share. And once you do that, tell us that you just told somebody to press the button. But we love you and we appreciate you.
But I like what you said about the cousin thing, because both Anita and myself, we have a large family. And I remember growing up, it was done. My mom and them, they made sure all the cousins knew each other. And I felt bad about that because I didn't follow through with that same thing. Now, Holly and Malachi, they know a lot of my cousins and their cousins, but my family is large. And Anita's family is large. When we had the family reunion, that's the only time you get to really see everyone. But my cousins are still having babies, and I don't even know who they are.
But even that, what he says, I remember it's like every year when I first came into the country, family reunions was popular.
Mm-hmm.
It was popular. Now it's drifting a little bit different now.
Yeah.
I know some people, they wear the T-shirts.
Even the region of the country too, because like down south, they seem to be much more oriented to know your family.
Yeah.
And up here in the north, do you think that regions of the country too can? If anybody's from the south watching us, let us know if you think region is different. Like if you are more apt to know your family if you're from the south.
James Howell.
I was like, oh, that's right. Deacon Howell's on. So Deacon Howell.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Hey there, sir.
He said, are we reading them off now? Because it looks like there's quite a few.
Right
there. Yeah, let's get into there.
And he's the first one.
Thank you.
Always.
Sir. Yeah.
Always.
Oh, Talia got a break from work. Okay, greetings, blessings. Nothing about Mark and Simon.
I know,
here.
just high
It's
pass.
just high pass them.
No,
Wow.
you
I
are
guess
the
it's a
saints.
What?
She's called you the saints because she goes to church with y'all. Come on, leave her alone. Y'all try and start something.
Okay. I think that was to your she's gonna answer back to though, the Wiz. And
Yes,
church.
I'm commenting. The Wiz had a more churchy vibe. So now Mark, you said soulful,
What?
but she's saying churchy.
She said soulful. That was her explanation to me. But now she's saying church. She said,
I said churchy.
Well, we're talking about stage though, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what churchy vibe the Wiz had. Maybe the movie's different from the play because the movie didn't have no churchy vibe to it.
Yeah, she got a sister attack here.
He's going down the road. I don't know. Okay.
Oh. Yeah, but Holly, this is from Talia. But Holly, the Lion King is based off animals in Africa.
You're not gonna get real churchy. You're not going to get real churchy with animals in Africa.
Oh, hello, Deborah. She says, hello, warriors.
Okay. All right, Debbie.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Talia says, that depends. What is the family dynamic? Mom, dad, kids, mom only, dad only, grandparents raising grandkids. There are a lot of, it's wide open.
And the cat.
Exactly. And don't forget the cat and the dog and the llamas. I mean, I don't know.
That's what I was saying, right? Because I was saying that it's hard to find a norm because there is really no norm to a family now.
It's wide open. It's different.
It's really changed. It wasn't something that you normally saw, mom and dad not together. They may not even been together, but they still were in the same house,
Mhm.
right? Or you still saw that a lot. But today you have moms raising kids and dads raising kids. So it's kind of it's hard to find a dynamic because there is no norm.
Yeah, 'cause we were in the airport. This father, of course, he was carrying his infant in the stroller, going into the men's bathroom to change. I'm like, either he's a single dad or he could have lost his wife or whatever the case may be. I just looked at him like, wow, you're carrying your infant on this plane. My heart just went out to him.
The
Unfortunately,
bathroom thing is tough though, especially with a man and children. That's tough.
that was me at, I think and Bev can correct me, was it 2 months or 6 months? Sophie was born and her mother and Viv's mother passed. And it was maybe a couple months after Sophie was born. So Viv had to go to Jamaica ahead of me. So I was going through the airport, Sophie strapped to my chest. I was carrying her car seat or stroller or some of that, all of our luggage. And after I told you the story, I was on the plane and she was crying. And I'm like, this is horrible. Just crying. I'm like, she won't stop.
Yeah.
There was this old lady beside me. She said, hold on, young man. She went up into the overhead, came down with the oatmeal cookie, put it in Sophie's mouth. Sophie just stopped crying. I'm like,
Yeah.
miracle. Like, he's just,
Gave your baby some crack.
he's just,
God.
I think it was called Benadryl then, but that came in a different form.
It was that shit was teeth, and I didn't know because she's just teeth. You just need something to chew on.
I
was
did
like,
the same thing when Simone, when she went to England when she was a baby. I had the thing on the chest, on the back, or whatever, traveling. Yeah.
It is not fun.
Mm. Just
Debbie said, I think what a normal family looks like can depend on ethnicity or even what region of this country at. That we're talking about a little bit about the region. I want to hear about regions. And I think culture may also define it a little bit, right? Because now that a lot of cultures, the Latinos are different from Caribbeans and Asians. So I think the culture of
is different, man. Come on. It's different.
I think aunts and uncles are critical to fact. Well, she's an aunt, so of course she's gonna
yes. You're very critical, Deborah. Yes, you are.
She is critical.
Holly goes, Dad, I don't remember being spoiled like that. LOL. I would definitely remember that. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Look, all of them remember, because sometimes when we go on occasions, my kids will be talking and saying, remember when Dad did this? I remember. I'm like, no, actually, I don't remember, but they remembered. Did he do that?
Some like I know for me, my dad was really involved with my sports. My mom didn't care about sports, but she sometimes had to take me. Dad couldn't take me, but she would drop me off and sometimes just go home and then come back. Where Dad a lot of times stayed. So it really depends on the dynamic. But I'm sure she's saying how much you did for Malachi, probably going to all of his games. Did she play sports? Did Holly play sports?
Anyway,
No,
she liked the idea of basketball.
she ain't playing no sports. She ain't playing no sports.
Holly was more the academic person.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't even know, but I'm just saying yes.
Right.
Okay.
Nita says,
Oh boy.
today a lot of families are split between two homes
Yes.
due to separation or divorce.
Mhm.
You have the mother or the guardian, head of one household, and the father in charge of another.
Yeah.
Oh, there's more?
And,
I know
and
exactly
then
what
there
she's
is
saying.
the matter of children being able to split their time between residents. Families just don't seem to be happy today as yesterday.
She's spot on with that. I know exactly what she's talking about right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing too, right? The kid dynamic of the kids, because I'm one of those houses. When you talk about blended families, the kids are one place, they have a different set of rules than at the other place, right?
Yes.
And that becomes confusing and difficult for them to understand that, well, how am I supposed to be? Right? So if we're sitting down at this house, with our family. We don't at this house. Then what's the deal? So I think I think she's right. That could be a difficult issue also.
Oh, it's difficult. It is.
Mhm.
Exactly, Anita, Talia. There are so many families now. It really doesn't depend. It really does depend on that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hold on. Hey guys, have any comments on that? Sorry.
I'm just saying that's where family support really comes in.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, Keith, you off the plantation today, bro?
You got your hat on?
It's an inside thing.
Inside joke. Yeah. Greetings from the big old brand. And you're not lying about big family.
He has a big family.
Yeah, I guess he has a huge family, huh?
Thanks for coming on, sir.
Holly
Okay.
says,
Holly's still
Yes.
coming back. Yes. The play had more churchy vibe than the movie. Dad, you don't remember? The lady was playing the tambourine.
She
Oh
was
my
tearing that
God.
black tambourine up, man. She tore it at the end. I'm like,
So
okay.
what-
I said, why is the witch playing the tambourine?
so one scene makes it more churchy.
I guess so.
Oh, Lord.
Welcome back, sir. We
Yes,
missed
sir.
you.
Yes, we did. Oh, we love our grandkids. That's a good, honest question, sir, to answer. We love our grandkids, and they love and always want to be with us. True fact. What I've learned is that only lasts until they become teenagers. Once they become teenagers, their interests change. They want to be, which is very true.
Mhm.
Yeah. They want to be.
I don't see anything else.
Okay, there's nothing. Okay.
We'll probably come back a little later.
Yeah.
They're here. They want to be.
Be with their friends, and more so, we love them up during those years because we know they don't last.
Yeah.
And I like what he said there, because I remember something that Holly said to me, and it still resonates with me today. When I worked for Hewlett Packard, I was working like 24/7, 365. That's what it felt like. And I remember we was going to work on a Saturday. Holly looked at me and says, "Dad, you going back to work again?" That broke me. From that point on, I did not go back to work on weekends. I just did Monday through Friday. Weekends was my family time.
See, that was with your kids. See,
Mhm.
and what he's saying about the grandchildren
Mhm.
is a true fact. Because from the time they started to walk, and then they coming up, and around 8, 9, yes, grandparents, yeah. We love the food. We love to be down there. Once they get teenagers, new friends, yeah, they still love us, but the communication is not like what it was before.
Mhm.
But they will always hug us and love us and kiss us and all that stuff. But they want to be with their friends. So
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that the dependence on you when they're little is so grave. Even the grandkids, they love it. But once they become teenagers, they're trying to find themselves, not only from their parents, but from their grandparents and the whole family.
Mhm.
They still love you. They still want to go to see grandma and grandpa. They just don't want to hang out as much as they used to hang out. Like I remember seeing grandkids sit in the same room their grandfather or grandmother was in, just
Mhm.
because their parents were there. When they're teenagers, they're especially today with the phones, they're not doing that.
Well, real quick, Holly said you can skip her next comment, go to the next one. The commercial I love
She
is
said that?
when
Oops, I just
she
put it up.
said skip it.
too bad, too late.
Well, the
Yeah.
commercial I love, you might have seen this, where they put the toddler down and the toddler's running, runs right past the grandmother and goes right to the grandfather, and the grandmother's like, "Really?" I love those commercials. Like, the baby always runs right to the grandfather. So what does that tell you?
And that
The
new trend-
grandfather has some more love and fun.
You see that new trend now where they put the baby down like 15 feet away.
Oh, they're trying to get
And the whole
people to.
family, you see where the baby crawls to?
Yes, that's
Right.
that's cold, man.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one, because if my baby didn't crawl to me, I'd be going crazy. Like, no.
But at the same time, when their grandkids do get older, they worry about, are my grandparents going to embarrass me?
Oh, but you know what's cool? What was
Yeah.
cool was the one where the grandparent sits down and they blindfold them and the kids coming to say hi, grandma, or whatever it is, and they have to tell which child it is.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's pretty
That-
great.
Oh, Ken came on.
Ken says, remember to mention the enemy is busy separating families in many ways. Yeah, yeah.
True.
Which is true, because if he can't get to you, he'll go to a family member and try to bring discord among the family.
But I think what Ken is trying to say is that, you know, the enemy's busy making all these other types of families, right? No longer is it mom, dad, and kids. The enemy now is trying to create this dynamic where the family's not whole. And that's what the church has to really work on, even though the dynamic may be different, to give some still semblance of a original family, which is a tough part.
So good to see you, Sister Shirley. We're glad you're back
Thank
with
you,
us tonight.
Shirley.
She says, I was raised in a single family home and never knew my father
Wow.
or his family.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You know, Shirley, I can relate to that because my dad was adopted. So I don't know who my dad's siblings are. Never met them. He never introduced us to, well, he didn't know himself since he was adopted. So that was a challenge for us. And I remember we did one of those family ancestry type of things. We found a book on our last name, and majority of the men in that book were preachers. I was like, whoa.
Wow.
Yeah. That blew my mind. I was like, wow.
Joey, could you tell me, did you ever feel like you wanted to go find that other half of the family? Did you feel, and I don't know about kids wise, if she has kids, if you have kids, did you ever want your kids to know that side of the family? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, let me read this. I gotta read this one. Anita, she says, yes, we got Hispanic neighbors. Hopefully they push the button and share the button too. With 6 cars and Lord knows how many people in the house. I think that's definitely normal for that culture, which is, it is.
And I have had that conversation. I said, you know, I have no problem with that. I said, they're looking out for their family.
But they okay with it.
Yeah. They're looking for the family.
They'll be fine.
And I know Indians who do the same, Asians who do the same, because it is something where instead of us trying to struggle to make money and live on our own, we just come together and put our money together. Like we rent a house out to, I think it's 3 or 4 brothers. They all work, but they come, they live in the house, and they help with the rent. They do all these things, and they're going to get their families over someday. And when they can, they'll do what they can. But I think that, but we make it sound like Black people didn't do it. You know, there was you hear stories, athletes, yeah, I'm in a bedroom with my 4 siblings, and you know, it's big families.
That was then, but nowadays you really don't see much of that. I mean, if they're doing it, you just don't see it in a lot of the neighborhoods.
Yeah,
rephrase that. It depends on the neighborhood that you live in.
Right. Yeah, it really does. Let me see. Here we are.
You already did that one.
We did that.
That was part 2, Will.
That part 2 of the one that you had to jump on. Deborah goes back. Do you think social media impacts the family? Can social media lead to some distance and separation?
I definitely think it can, especially if it's when it's because I remember when we had holidays, and Debbie knows this very well. When we all went to mom and dad's, all the family was there. We played games, we talked, we laughed, we teased each other. Now a lot of times you come to a holiday and they may play games, but 1 or 2 of them are on their phones and not paying attention to the rest of the family. So I think it can, but I think you have to make it so that everybody is off their phones and enjoy family, understanding that this is a time where we get together with families, we spend time with family.
You know, there was an experiment this person did. He said, now take your phone and put your phone on the table. How do you feel? He goes, I feel like you're paying attention to me. He said, now take your phone and turn it upside down. How do you feel? He goes, I feel like you're more engaged in our conversation. Because by turning the phone upside down meant that phone was not as important versus face up. And so now it's funny when we go out to eat, I'll take my phone, I'll put my phone down on the seat. So that way I'm not looking at it.
Yeah, I got to do it too. I get so caught up sometimes, like, and I play a video game. I play a game over. My this is eating. I'm like, why am I doing this?
Right. Put that
But
phone away,
it's
bro.
I just got
the
to.
game.
Like, when I put my phone away, it's away, and like I'm
Yeah.
thinking, it's so much better this way, because you're forced to have conversation.
Exactly.
You're forced to talk. You're forced because no one wants to live in that dead silence. You don't want to hear everybody's eating.
That's what you hear
Well,
more now.
we were at one restaurant. I looked over. I said, "Look at this! Everyone at the table were on their phones." I said, "This is crazy."
Yeah, it's social. Yeah, yeah.
Well, Esther.
Thank you, Esther. You said you was gonna come on.
Yes, she did. Go ahead.
No. I'm reading more and I don't even have my glasses. No one should feel less than if they've been raised in a single family home. The power is in the love. And we did say that because in a situation like right in now, but that's why I say family dynamics is very, very important and church life is important.
Yeah, but I think she was making a statement, right, that you kind of made before. And I don't think it's they feel less love, but at least maybe I made it. But sometimes they feel misplaced because you see other kids having, you were talking about Simon, you see your dad at the game, you see other kids' dads at the game, and you're not, your dad's not there. So you don't feel less love, but you feel kind of bad because you're like,
Yeah.
I wish my dad was here. It's not that my dad doesn't care or doesn't love me. I know he's home. I know when I get home, he'll be home. He'll say how was the game, but I want to get at the game. Right. So I think that sometimes kids miss out or parents misunderstand that their kids want them there. Their kids may say, I don't want you there. It's no big deal. It's okay. But the truth of the matter is it's not. Because if their friends' parents are there, they're going to feel away, regardless. I think. That's what I think that we're talking about. But I don't think that we're trying to make them feel less love. I think it's just often that this comes out that way.
Yeah.
I just died. Lord, forgive me. Head on.
Okay, Tommy.
She just called on to that. Okay.
But then I just thought, just what you just said, Rupert. Okay, back then, me playing a sport, it wasn't really liked in the church back then because I was mingling with sinners. That's what that generally was like about. So, in I guess I was giving my parents like a pass because I was doing this. If it was put secretly from the church because they didn't like me. They didn't want me to do this. Now it's totally the total opposite now in nowadays for someone to play a sport. You encourage your kids to do that now. And it's more popular. And you see more people praying on a court or praying on a field or whatever. Back then, it wasn't so much. I mean, of course, I prayed before I went on the pitch, but I was alone.
Right.
So that dynamic there is different.
Yeah, but that's that dynamic. What about the dynamic about the dad who's working or the parents that are working and they're sending their kids to play sports, but they can't go because they're working, right? There is still that. Like, and we can we have a lot more.
Whoa.
But yeah, but I understand what you're saying. This is a good comment though, right here.
Welcome back, Stephanie.
Thank
Good
you,
to see
Stephanie. You're
She
welcome.
says, then when we get to adulthood, we want to be around them again. And that is a true statement.
Yes.
Especially if you grew up with your grandparents, man, you see the difference. You're like, man, such wisdom.
Talia back on. I think the strongest trait my father had was he worked 7 days a week and still made sure we had cookouts, family amusement park trips. We still were able to go to family reunions then. Yes.
Yeah, just focus on it, right? Focus on the family.
Exactly. And then Shirley, she says, my brother always wanted to know who our father was, but it was okay with me.
Okay.
I know how you, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Ken said, yep, social media, screens, phones are one of the tools of he's going back to the enemy again. Okay.
Yeah, and you got a lot of tools, I guess.
You got a lot of tools, a lot of people. Thank you, Stephanie. Social media can also bring families together, depending on the content creator. Some content creators give exercises to try within the family,
Yeah.
etc.
But actually, we talked about two that we saw before that were cool. Putting the baby down, having the family across, baby crawl, the grandparent naming the kids. Those are all YouTube stuff or
Yeah.
stuff that we wouldn't know about that they do. But even some of the games that are played, we played our holidays. It was my kids seeing them on YouTube and said we want to play these games. So she's right. But I think what we're more talking about at the gathering.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not when you have your own time, you're a teenager in your room. We're talking about at the family gathering, at dinner, how does social media affect us? Yeah.
She says we love having family get together, even on a fly. Okay, Keith.
Keith. Okay. Even on the fly.
That must be
I
right
like that.
Yeah, he flying. Oh, Derek. I can't say how you would really say it, Derek, in country. I can't because I can't talk like you, sir. But I can say I'm onto a private and young man's
No,
perspective.
I'm on to provide a young man's perspective.
I'm on to okay, my bad. See,
So give it
I'm
to us.
trying
He
to-
didn't give it to us. He just said that he said hi, and he didn't give it to us. All right, thanks, Derek. That's great, Derek. We appreciate you, man.
You-
Welcome.
He said, probably got too many kids too. It's probably took him out. He got too many. He's like, oh man. All right.
So Talia says that, as I recall correctly, my father only missed 2 of my track meets.
You
And
ran
he-
track?
Talia did.
Mhm.
She said so. He made it to a lot while working every day. My father definitely had an effect on who I associate with. Yes.
And that, I think, is a key thing because I think something's missing today. One thing I needed that day, we make sure we knew the parents that our kids were associated with. So if they're hanging out with a bunch of kids, make sure we know their parents. I think nowadays that's a disconnect with a lot of parents today. They're not learning about the family that their kids are associated with. And that's how a lot of stuff gets crazy.
Yeah, my parents knew all my friends' parents. That wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't a. You didn't have. It was they had to know them, right? Because if you went over their house, they had to
better
know
know
whose house you were going to.
Exactly.
If they really wanted you there, because we lived in a community that wasn't predominantly black; it was predominantly white.
8:29.
So my parents were very up on it. Very up on it.
We got 50 seconds. My parents stopped those sleepovers.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, my wife didn't do it either. She
That's
said into
it.
sleepovers.
That's it.
Well, if we had sleepovers, it generally was family members from the family.
We stopped that too.
Yeah, and it's now and again from school. The ones that we knew would come over. So
Last comment from Stephanie.
yeah, when praying for a forever mate, I pray for someone who is family orientated like me. God truly delivers both sides of the family. So when we get together for birthdays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, job promotions, holidays, etc.
Amen. One more.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, Stephanie. African
You on the
American
roll, bro.
parents met the parents.
Right.
Clear parents dropped off kids and kept going.
Oh Lord. It depends.
On that note,
I will say this at the parents too, because I had some white friends who wanted to know who my parents were. Like I went to their house and they wanted to know my background because they were nervous.
Clear.
Remember, it depends because some of the clear parents were nervous to meet black kids. They never knew black children, black families. So they want to sometimes meet who we were. They wouldn't just drop off their kids.
Yeah, I can't got no time for that, but that's different. I got
All right,
stories
but-
for that, but I need an extra sugar in my coffee and need
All
when
right,
I
so-
go upstairs.
stay tuned next week, and you'll hear us say,
Hey,
You're welcome.
He said, yeah.
Whatever.
"You're clear, Hispanic,
When you're
Asian,
clear.
or whatever."